Hi there Aquarius, thank you for joining me for your monthly forecast for April. The month begins with the Sun and Mercury in the part of your horoscope that's to do with everyday communications. But it's also an area where your natural airiness can really prosper. You are a communicator par excellence, and you can feel full of excitement as April starts to unfold. And there's very good reason for you to feel upbeat. The Sun in this area can give you a sense of anticipation about how you can connect with others. There can be lots of text messages and emails whizzing back and forwards. But also your friendship sector, which has been a bit embattled over the last 9-12 months, is reinforced in the first week of this month when your traditional ruler of Saturn forges a great link to the Sun. If you're talking to people who are sincere and you've got ideas that you want to get across, that you're serious about, you can formulate your plans to them in a way which is very credible, very believable, and that can see you gaining in credibility. Mercury is also here too, which is going to give your sense of humour a real zip. But Venus, the planet of love, but also of money, is in the part of your scope in week 1, which can continue to enhance your earning power. But there is a little bit of a cautionary note when it comes to this part of your scope for the rest of the month, because Mars, the planet of desire, which is also in your sector of the future and friendships and sociability, and very helpfully so, is actually bogged down by a very tricky angle to Neptune. You know that old saying of business and pleasure not mixing? Well, I think as an Aquarius myself, I don't actually agree with that, because I feel that you will agree it's very important to work with people that we enjoy spending time with. Aquarius people are very much into friendships, as you know, but unfortunately this is a very difficult aspect. I'm not trying to be negative, I'm just trying to be honest. Neptune can distort reality, and because it's in that part of our horoscope to do with money, and Mars is in a much more idealistic area, I really do feel that when it comes to possessions and money and the people you know or the groups of people you hang around with, just keep a little bit of a cautionary approach in the way that you handle things, because you may encounter someone who doesn't share your desire to be honest and straightforward, who isn't as caring, who isn't perhaps as thoughtful as you can often be, and you could end up feeling rather hurt, but worse, deceived, if you thought they were better than they really are. So if someone talks about a get-rich-quick idea, then listen, see if it's got any credibility, research it, but certainly don't get caught up in all the sort of bluff and huff around it. Just be very discerning and be determined to see through to the reality of situations, and that will help guide you. It's also true that if you are going out with any friends this month, I do feel it will be quite difficult to resist really going for it. So if you're someone who tends to suffer a little bit with hangovers or digestion issues, if you eat the wrong kind of things, if you do go out in a group situation, this is a lighter note with Neptune's combination with Mars. Just be aware that your body is going to be that much more sensitive. But the first week of this month also sees tiny Pluto, which has been such a troublemaker for Aquarius people in general over the last 4 years in its clash with the modern ruler of Aquarius, Uranus. Well, those two have pretty well come to the end of that punch-up, and we can all let out a collective water carrier's sign of relief. But it does clash with the Sun, ironically. And it's possible that someone's going to tell you something in week 1 which isn't actually very nice, not very diplomatic, and perhaps this is a person that's been holding some kind of grudge. Be careful, someone could also use their words in a way to manipulate or put you down. Keep, again, your boundaries in place, your parameters around how you interact with people. Although there's all this bright and bubbly energy around, don't let your guard down too much. Someone around you is not necessarily going to be on your wavelength. It's the message of the month. However, there is a big change which occurs on the 6th, because Venus moves into the most wonderful part of your horoscope for personal communications. But Mercury, the planet of communications, ironically, moves into a very muted area. Now, when Mercury moves through the 4th solar house, there can be a tendency for us to recycle thoughts around and around our minds. In other words, overthink things. And there could be that potential, but Mercury actually goes on to forge a fantastic link between the 12th and the 17th with fortunate Jupiter. And if you're trying to do anything with property renovation, buying or selling, renting, or just thinking about how you can dig a little bit more out of your resources and sweat more from your assets, this could be very, very shrewd and help you to make some smart decisions. But it could see you at times being a little quieter. Venus, on the other hand, can see you hugely charming. Well, of course, you're always hugely charming. And then, as this month goes on, Venus is going to be collecting with Uranus, the modern ruler of Aquarius. But before that, on the 7th, there is a sparkling new moon. And this new moon also links with Uranus. There's a duality to Aquarius people. On one hand, we love all that's new and novel, and we can be quirky and obviously have unusual friendships. We give people space, but then can want quite a lot of attention. We can be very, very loyal friends and very non-judgmental. And I think this Uranian conjunction with this new moon can just really see the more sparkling, unpredictable and modern side of the Aquarius nature comes to the fore. But the duality comes from Saturn, which is much more set in its ways. It's about the fixed sign of Aquarius, about not really liking to change our personal habits and ways. But this particular new moon is a great time to think afresh, to do a course, to tell people about your wonderful ideas, to really make people laugh with your idiosyncratic sense of humour, even if at times Mercury's in the background just saying, just come back into your own space a little bit. Be cautious about how you open up. But when Venus goes alongside Uranus from the 19th to the 24th, you're going to have an opportunity to connect with people, which is so magical and magnetic. It's really going to be quite unique. And there could be an encounter then, or ironically between the 10th and the 14th, when Venus forges a brilliant link with Mars, which can be a real life changer, but it can come completely out of the blue. It may be that you're going to meet somebody new that you already know or have been building up a relationship with, and then just find out there's a lot more to this character than you thought, or it's possible that the meeting can come about completely spontaneously. Now, if that does happen, or an opportunity, an invite comes out of the blue, that's when you're being asked to challenge that side of you, which can be a bit nervous, wanting to control your own space a little bit. Try and let go and go with it. You never know where it's going to lead. And then when the sun ingresses into Taurus on the 20th, the whole piece does become a little bit more reflective. It's more about the pace of life trimming down a little bit, taking a breath, perhaps having more time to think about things, reflecting the excitement which is sure to have gone on earlier in the month. But there is also a full moon on the 22nd. And if your home, emotional or personal life is being challenged by a lot of external pressures, this is your opportunity to try to realign things, that classic work-life balance. As the month comes to a close, if you have been really hoping to make some fundamental changes to where you live, they could start to happen in the last few days of April. But the one thing this month is not going to be in any way, shape or form is dull. It's going to be really, really full on, but I think you can surf it marvellously well. Thank you for joining me. Good luck and goodbye for now.